Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will tell you in detail about the ls command, people. Um, that is, I will tell you about the use of a lot of different options of the ls command in the Linux and Unix systems. Now, let me navigate to the required directory, people. I am going to do that. cd/home/frame/demo dir1. That's the directory where I am creating all the files in my Linux system, and that's the absolute path that I am using to navigate. And let me do this. I'll change directory into that directory /home/frame/demo dir1, and I verify the same with the help of the pwd command. Yeah, that has been taken care of. Now, let me start with this demonstration for the ls command, people. Now, the ls command, I did mention about the ls command briefly in a previous presentation, and in this video, I will tell you about a lot of useful options that we can use with the ls command. Now, I will start just with the ls command by itself, people. Now, when I run the ls command by itself, it is just going to report the names of all the files and directories that are available in my current directory. So, right now I only have these contents. There are 5 files in this directory. Now, if I create, let's say, 1 or 2 directories like this, mkdir space dir1 and dir2, I am creating those 2 subdirectories with the names dir1 and dir2. When I do that, people, I run the ls command again by itself. I can notice that the ls command by default, that is when I run the ls command by itself without any options and arguments, it is just reporting the names of all the files and directories that are available in my present working directory or my current directory. Now, if I want to get the details of all these files and directories, I can use the L option of the ls command, because the L option of the ls command will ask the ls command to generate a long listing output. Let's now check this, people. ls-l. With the L option, the ls command will generate long, L-O-N-G, long listing output. That is, it will report the file attributes information also for every file and directory that is being reported. Now, please have a careful look at this, people. For directories dir1 and dir2, the file attributes information is starting with a D here. And for regular files like config.txt, democat.txt, file2, those kind of regular files, the file attributes information, it is having a hyphen character in the first character position in the file attributes information. Now, let me take one example here, people. For the file config.txt, these are the file attributes information. And now please have a careful look at this. In the first field, when I consider the file config.txt, for which I am seeing the long listing information here, the file attributes information in this portion, in the first field, there are 11 characters. Among those 11 characters, the first character indicates the file type. The file type hyphen indicates that this file config.txt is a regular file. So, for regular files, I'll see a hyphen here in the file type. Then the next 9 characters here, these stand for all these 9 characters, they indicate the file access permissions associated with this file. Please do not worry about that, people. I will tell you about the file access permissions in a separate playlist that I will create for Linux system administration. And the 11th character in the first field, the dot, indicates that there is no access control list or ACL associated with this file. Again, please do not worry about this. I will tell you about this ACL, access control list, in a separate playlist that I will create for Linux system administration. And the second field contains something called as link count. It's a link count, LINK count, link count. Please do not worry about that also, people. I will tell you about that in a separate playlist for Linux system administration, where I will cover the topic of hard links and symbolic links. And now the third field that I see here is the user owner of the file. In this scenario, in my machine, the user with the name Prem owns this file as the user owner. Then the next one here in the fourth field is the group owner of the file. So the group account that has the group ownership of this file is the group account with the name Prem. The next one is the file size in number of bytes. By default, the ls command will report the file size in number of bytes, people. Like for example, here for the file config.txt, it is 16 bytes. And then the next three fields that I am highlighting now, the field number 6, 7 and 8. These three fields we need to interpret together, because this indicates the last modified date and time for this file. And then finally in the 9th field we find the file name. So that is how the ls command works, people. And for directories, you will find something interesting here. For the directories, the file type that we see in the first field in the long listing output, for example, for this directory dir1 and for the directory dir2, you can notice that the first character in the long listing, it is a D, a lowercase d, D for delta. That indicates this is a directory. So dir1 is a directory and dir2 is a directory that we can see, people, here from the output. Alright, people, that's about the ls command along with the L option. The L option is asking the ls command to generate long, that is long listing format output, where we will see the file attributes information also along with the file name or the directory name. Alright, people, now I will tell you about some other useful options also, some more useful options also for the ls command that we can use. I am going to tell you about that now. Now, to start with that, people, let me create two files like this, dot file1, dot file2. Please remember, people, dot file2 is going to be very different from the file2. Okay, and please remember that the file names are also case sensitive, because in Linux and Unix systems, definitely the file names are case sensitive. Now I am creating these two files with the names dot file1 and dot file2 with the help of the touch command, and the touch command will create these two files in the form of 0-byte files or empty files. Let's check, people. I create the files. Let me also create a directory like this, mkdir space dot dir1. Now intentionally I have the first character as a dot in the file names and directory names and the directory name, people, here. Let me demonstrate that. Now I create a subdirectory with the name dot dir1. Okay, after doing this, people, after creating these two regular files, dot file1 and also dot file2, and the directory with the name dot dir1, let's now check the long listing output for the current directory. ls-l, this command I am running again, and please note this, people, in the long listing output I do not see these files with the file names dot file1 and dot file2 and the directory with the name dot dir1. Why? What is the reason for that? What is the reason for this? It is because of this, people. In case of Linux and Unix systems, any file or any directory whose name starts with a dot character is a hidden file. Hidden in the sense that the ls command will not list them by default. However, the ls command provides a option that we can use to view or list the hidden files also. Now let me tell you about that option, people. That option is the A option. So if I now use ls command along with the A option, we can see all the files in the current directory, including the hidden files like dot file1, dot file2, and the directory dot dir1, which is a hidden directory. And the dot and dot can also be seen, people, because the dot is a shortcut for the current directory, dot is a shortcut for the parent directory. However, if I want to get a long listing for all the files in the current directory along with the hidden files also that I want to see, then I can use this, people, ls-al. When I specify multiple options, I can specify them in any order, people, like this, al or la, both are perfectly okay. Now let's go ahead and run this command. I run the command, I get a long listing for all the files in the current directory, including the hidden files. Dot is a shortcut for the current directory, dot is a shortcut for the parent directory. I see the hidden directory dot dir1 and also the hidden files with the names dot file1 and dot file2. Alright, people, so that's the useful option, the A option of the ls command that I demonstrated just now. Now in the next demonstration, let me now create a subdirectory, people, that doesn't exist in my current directory. So I will create mkdir, I'm using the mkdir command to create a subdirectory with the name test1. Let me proceed. And now let's verify, people, ls-l. Okay, yeah, now I find that the subdirectory with the name test1 has been created successfully with the help of the mkdir command that I was executing earlier. Now what will happen if I specify like this, people, ls-l test1. Okay, before I do that, people, let me create some contents inside that directory. I'm just going to create some contents inside that directory. Let me use the touch command. Now I specify within the test1 subdirectory, create a file with the name file1. And again, in that subdirectory test1, create a file with the name file2. That is something that I am doing with the help of the touch command. And let me also create one more file, however this time with the file name of dot file3. Essentially I am creating the file dot file3, which is going to be a hidden file. Alright, people, now let me also create some subdirectories there. test1/dir1 within the directory test1, which is a subdirectory in my current directory. Within that subdirectory, create a subdirectory with the name dir1 and test1. Within that directory test1, create a subdirectory with the name dir2. Within the directory test1, which is in my current directory, which is a subdirectory of my current directory, that is test1. Within that, create a hidden directory with the name .dir3. Let's now check here, people. Yeah, all good. Both commands, the touch command and the mkdir command, have created the required contents inside the subdirectory test1 that is available in my current directory. Alright. Now, what will happen if I do this, people? ls test1. Okay. Please remember that test1 is a subdirectory in my current directory. And in this example that I am about to use, I'll explain this, people. Whenever the ls command is used along with a directory that is specified as argument, for that directory, the ls command will report for the immediate contents. It will report for the immediate contents inside that directory. Okay, let's now do this, people, and yeah, please have a look at this. Yeah, now inside the directory test1, there are these two files, file1 and file2. These are regular files, and the directories dir1 and dir2 are there. Now let me create one more directory, people, here below test1 for a later demonstration. Okay, mkdir test1 /dir1 /ndir1. Now up to this I was already having test1 /dir1. It's already there. Within that, I am creating a subdirectory with the name ndir1. Okay, let's do that. Now again I run the command ls test1. Please have a careful look, people. The ls command is only reporting the names of the files and directories that are the immediate contents below the directory test1. That is it. Now, what about getting a long listing for the contents there inside the test1 directory? And please remember that the ls command is not reporting the hidden files by default. Okay, the hidden files and directories, they are not reported by default. From this output, we can see, people, in the test1 directory, I do have a hidden file with the name .file3 and also a hidden directory with the name .dir3. They are not reported by the ls command here. Now, I will start with ls-l test1. Now, what will happen is I'll get the long listing for these two files, file1 and also file2, and then the directory dir1 and dir2. Let's check. Because by default, the ls command is not going to report for the hidden files, and when a directory is specified as the argument for the ls command, the ls command will report for the immediate contents inside that directory. Please remember this, people. Test1 directory, it has a subdirectory dir1. This subdirectory dir1 in turn has a subdirectory with the name ndir1. However, the ls command is reporting only for the immediate contents of a directory when the directory is specified as the argument for the ls command. Now, what about the hidden files? Now, let's check this, people. To report the hidden files also that are available in the test1 directory, I can use this A option, ls command along with the A and L options. A option for listing hidden files, L option for the long listing, and for the directory test1. Let's do this. Now we got lot more lines in the output, because with the A option, the ls command is reporting the hidden files and directories also. Dot and dot dot are reported. Dot dir3, the hidden directory dot dir3 that I created, that is reported, and also for the hidden file dot file3 that I created, for that also I get the long listing. Now, sometimes what happens is this, people. I just want to get a recursive listing. Recursive. What I am mentioning is recursive. Recursive listing. It's not a command, people. I'm just telling you about what I am about to do now with the help of a very useful option sometimes. Okay, let's do this, people. Please look at this. For the directory test1, I do have a subdirectory with the name dir1 that I can see with this output itself, with the output of from the output of this command itself. However, the directory dir1 in turn has a subdirectory with the name ndir1. I am not seeing that because the default behavior of the ls command for a directory is like this, people. The ls command will report for the immediate contents inside the directory. Okay, not the entire directory hierarchy. So if I want the ls command to report the entire directory hierarchy that is starting from test1, for that I can use a very useful option, the capital R option, people. Okay, now when I add the capital or the uppercase R option and I specify the test1 directory as the argument, now you can notice that the ls command will provide a recursive listing for the directory test1, meaning that I will see in the output of the ls command the long listing format output, and also hidden files also will be reported. However, now I will get a complete report on the directory hierarchy that is starting from the test1 directory onwards. Let's check. I'll run this command now, people. Please have a careful look. You can notice that for the directories, you can notice that I'm getting the complete listing, people, here. So for the directory test1, the directory test1 has the contents like this. And since I use the capital R option, I'm getting a recursive listing, people. Okay, recursive listing to report the entire directory hierarchy that is starting from test1. So the test1 directory in turn has a subdirectory with the name, it has a subdirectory with the name dir1, and whose contents are seen here. We can see that, people, here. Yeah, test1 directory has a subdirectory with the name dir1, within which there are dot and dot dot, and the directory ndir1 that I created, I can also see that, and the ndir1 directory is empty. Okay, because the dot and dot dot, these are created by the operating system itself. Okay, the ndir1 directory is empty, people. It doesn't have any contents inside that. The ndir1 directory below test1/dir1, it does not have any contents. Okay, now yeah, below below the directory test1 there is a subdirectory with the name dir2, it is empty. Again, similar scenario for the directory dot dir3. The dot dir3 directory below the test1 directory, it also is a empty directory. All right, people. So that's the demonstration there. The useful option, the capital R option, has been demonstrated. Now, again, I will run this command, people. Once again, ls-l test1. Let's run this command. I get a long listing for the immediate contents of the directory test1. However, sometimes what happens is this, people. Sometimes what happens is I want to be I'm sorry, I'll repeat this, people. Yeah, when I run this command, I have reported the long listing for the immediate contents inside the directory test1. However, sometimes my requirement is to get the long listing for the directory test1 itself, not for its contents. So in that case, I can use this option, the D option. The D option is a very useful one, people. I will tell you why. It is because it will ask the ls command to provide the listing for the directory itself, not for its contents. Please have a careful look. Now I mentioned test1 as a directory. That is the argument for the ls command. So essentially, I want to go for the long listing for the directory test1 itself, not for its contents. Let's check. I run the command, people. Now you can notice that I got the long listing output for the directory test1 itself, not for its contents. That is the purpose of the D option of the ls command. Alright, people. Then there are some more useful options that I am going to demonstrate now. Okay. In my current directory, people, if you look at this carefully, now let's do this ls-l once again. I'll run this command once again. So for my present working directory, I am going to get the long listing, people. Let's do that. Yeah. Now I got the long listing output from the ls command along with the L option. Alright, I do not see the hidden files. Okay, that's okay because I did not specify the lowercase a option, people. Alright, now have a careful look at the output of this command that I am highlighting, people. Now, what is the sort order in which you are seeing this output? By default, the ls command will provide its output in the ascending alphabetical order of the file name. Can you see that, people, here in the highlighted portion? You can notice that the ls command by default is presenting its output in the ascending alphabetical order of the file name. Now, that is the default sort order used by the ls command. However, sometimes what I want to do is, people, I want to reverse the sort order or I want to go for a different sort order. Okay. Now, this is ascending alphabetical order of the file name. That is the order in which the ls command is presenting the output. However, with the lowercase r option, I can reverse the sort order. Now let's do this, people. I'll press the enter key. Okay, now you can notice that with the help of the r option, the lowercase r option, the ls command is now presenting the output in the descending alphabetical order of the file name. That is the useful option, the lowercase r option here, people. Now, sometimes what happens is I want to get the ls command output sorted in the order of the file size. Okay, that also I can do, people, like this: ls-l capital or uppercase S. Now, since I did not mention the target directory or file on which the ls command has to run, it is going to report for the current directory itself. Now, for the current directory, I am going to get the long listing. However, this time the ls command will present the output in the file size based sort order. The largest file will appear in the first line of output. The smallest file in size will appear in the last line of the output. Let's check, people. I run the command. Now you can notice that the sort order is now like this, with the use of the capital or uppercase S option. The ls command is presenting the output in the descending order of the file size. Alright, people. Now I want to reverse this order of the output. I want to see the output of the ls command in the ascending order of the file size. Simple. I just need to use the previous command, people, ls-l, lowercase r, and then capital S, because the R option will reverse the sort order. The lowercase r option will reverse the sort order. So let's go ahead. I will now run this command, people, and this time we can notice that the output has been presented by the ls command in the ascending order of the file size. All right, people, that's one very useful option. The capital S option or the the capital S option or the uppercase S. I'm sorry, the capital S or the uppercase S option used for sorting the output of the ls command based on the file size. All right, then there is one more quite useful option, people. That is the H option. Please have a careful look at this. ls-l, now H. H is used to tell the ls command that it has to report the file size in human friendly format. Please note this, people. I'll repeat, I'm sorry people, I'll repeat this. By default, the ls command will report the file size in number of bytes. However, for a file with a large size, like in terms of megabytes or gigabyte size, it is difficult to see the file size in plain bytes unit, people. So the H option will help here. The H option will ask the ls command to report the file size in human friendly format. Let's check this, people. I'll run the command. Please have a careful look. The ls command is now reporting the file size in human friendly format. The size of the file demo.vi.txt is now reported in terms of kilobyte units, not in just bytes. Okay, that's the useful option, the H option. And this time the ls command has presented the output in the default sort order, that is the ascending alphabetical order of the file name. Now sometimes I can go for a different sort order which is based on time, that is the last modified date and time. Based on that, I want to sort the output of the ls command, people. How can I do that? For that, I can use the T option, people. Okay, the T option of the ls command will help here. Now let me include the H option also. So what I am doing is, for the current directory, I want to get the long listing. The output should be sorted based on the last modified date and time, and the H option to report the file size in human friendly format. Let's now go ahead. I run this command. Now with the lowercase t option, what happens is this: the ls command will sort the output in the last modified date and time order, people. The most recently updated or modified file will appear in the first line of output. The oldest file will appear in the last line of the output. Okay, that is the use of the T option. So this is the reverse chronological order sort that the ls command will go for when I use the lowercase t option of the ls command. Now I want to see the output in the chronological order of the file last modified date and time, people. In that case, it is very simple. I can use the same command like the previous one, just use the reverse time order sort. Okay, see, I want to go for the time order sort, however in the reverse order of the default. Okay, so now what will happen is, in the output, people, we'll see the long listing for the current directory. In the reverse time order, for the output and the H option for seeing the file size in human friendly format. And this time I'll see the output like this, people, because of the use of the R and T options. I will see the output like this. The time order sort is based on the chronological order, meaning that the oldest file will appear in the first line of output. The most recently updated file or directory will appear in the last line of output. Okay, so that's the ls command, people, with a number of useful options that I have demonstrated. And if you have noticed, people, till now I was using the ls command for demonstrating the contents inside my current directory. That is how I was using it. Now, can I use the ls command to report on any directory in the system, even if I need to use the absolute path, because the directory is something which is available in a very different directory location that is not in my current directory? Yes, that's the power of the ls command, along with the absolute path for the file or directory name, people, like this. Okay, let's have a careful look at this, people. ls/var. Now what I am doing is, I will now get I'll repeat this, people. With this command, what I am doing is, I want to see the names of all the files and directories that are the immediate contents inside /var. Okay, let's go ahead. I run this command, people, and I got this output. So these are the immediate contents inside the directory /var. So I had to use absolute path here, because the root directory has a subdirectory with the name var, and I'm getting the I'm getting the listing for that directory. Only the file names and directory names are reported. And if I did this, people, ls-l/var, I will get the long listing for the immediate contents inside the /var directory. That is, the root directory has a subdirectory with the name var, and for that directory I want to get the long listing. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I got it, people. However, since the output is more than one page, the previous pages in the output scroll up. So in this kind of scenario, where the command is generating more than one page of output, it is a good idea to send the output as the input to the more command, so that I can look at this output page by page. I am running the command, people. Now I will see the first page in the output. Now when I press the space bar, I can see the next page like this. Alright, people, and that was the last page in the output. So the command terminated after that. Now what if I want to do a long listing including the hidden files for the contents of the /var directory? I can just include the A option, like what I have done here. Since I know that definitely there will be more than one page in the output, let me send this output as input to the more command. Now with the with the use of the A option, the hidden files and hidden directories below /var directory, they will also be reported, people. That's what I can see this time. This file .updated, it's a hidden file. It is also reported now. Alright, people. Then what about getting a recursive listing for the directory /var? I can do this, people. ls-l recursive long listing, I'll say. Okay, ls-l capital R /var. What I am telling the ls command to do is, provide me with a long listing for the directory /var and provide that as a recursive long listing, because now I want to get a long listing for all the hierarchy, for the directory hierarchy that is starting from /var. Only I'm sorry, the hidden files will not be reported, people. However, I'll get a long listing for the non-hidden files and directories in a recursive approach. Now let's check. Send the output of this command as input to the more command, and let's now proceed. All right, people, so that's okay, because I'm running this command as the regular user. I'm getting file permission related error messages for many directories. Okay, I just used Q to terminate the command. All right, people, now for a long listing for the directory /var, for recursive listing, it is better I switch user into the root account, people. Okay, let's do that. Because I will not get those permission related error messages in that case. Let's run the same command again, ls-l capital R /var and pipe more. Now I will not get any permission related error messages, and I will get the output like this, people. I will go for the long listing in a recursive approach for the directory /var. Essentially, I am reporting the long listing for the directory /var and the entire directory hierarchy below that. Like this. You can notice that, people. Now I am getting no permission related error messages, and I get the first page in the output. When I press the enter key, I get the next line. I press the space bar, I get the next page. So it will be a huge directory hierarchy, people. So I'll now use the Q to terminate the command, Q to quit. Now let's do this, people, here. What if I want the same output like the previous command, like this, ls-l capital R /var. This time in the previous command I did not include the lowercase a option, people. So I will not get the output for the hidden files and directories. So if I use the capital if I use the lowercase a option, it will be taken care of. Now the hidden files also will be seen in the output. Okay, let's go ahead, people. I am reporting the entire directory hierarchy below /var, including the hidden files and hidden directories also. Space bar is used. Now I can see, people, next page and so on. Okay, let's terminate the command with Q to quit. All right. Now what if I do this, people, here, ls-ld/var. Now just like I told you already, the D option of the ls command will ask the ls command to report for the directory itself, not for its contents. So I will now get the long listing for the directory /var itself, not for its contents. Let's check. You can now notice that, people, I got the long listing for the directory /var itself, not for its contents, because I have used the D option of the ls command. All right, people, some more examples for the /var directories listing. What if I do this, people? ls-l capital S /var. Now I'm sorry. Options need to be preceded with a hyphen. And now since the /var directory has a lot of files and directories, let me send the output of this command as the input to the more command, people. Let's do this. One interesting thing is the capital S option. Okay, sorry, before I mention about that, people, earlier the ls command was presenting the output in the ascending alphabetical order of the file name by default. However, with the capital S option, the ls command will present the output in the size based sorted output, people. That is, it will sort the output in the file size based sorting. That is, the file with the largest size will appear in the first line of output. The file with the smallest size will appear in the last line of output. Let's check. I run this command. Now you can notice, people, the file with the largest size is appearing in the first line of output. The file with the smallest size will appear in the last line of output. Okay, you can notice that. Then if I want to reverse that sort order, I can do this, people. ls-l or capital S, and then I am saying /var. Since the output is going to be more than one page of output, I will send the output as the input to the more command. Run the command and I get the response like this, people. Yeah, you can notice that the file or directory in this example, the directory with the name yp, which is reporting size of 6 bytes, it is appearing in the first line of output. I press the space bar, I get the next page, and I can notice, people, the directory with the name cache, that is reporting size of 4096 bytes, it is appearing in the last line of output. Alright. Then, what if I do this, people? ls-l h /var, and I am going to get the long listing for the directory /var, and the file size will be reported in human friendly format since I am using the lowercase h option. Now let me send this output as the input to the more command, people. Let's do this. I run the command. Now you can notice that, people, the file size is now reported in human friendly format. I press the space bar, I get the next page of output, and then the command terminates. Now what if I want to get the content of the /var directory in a time based sort order, people, based on the last modified date and time? I can include the T option. Now H option for reporting the file size in the human friendly format for the directory /var. Now send the output as input to the more command. This time I want to get the long listing for the directory /var. The output should be presented in the time based sort order, meaning that the most recently updated file or directory should appear in the first line of output, and the oldest file or directory should appear in the last line of output. The H option to report the file size in human friendly format. Let's go ahead, people. You can notice that, people, here the directory, the tmp directory below /var, it is the most recently updated one, so it is appearing in the first line of output. I press the space bar, the next page appears in the output, and the command terminates because that's the last page in the output. And you can notice, people, the directory with the name yp is appearing in the last line, since that is the oldest directory in the /var directory. Okay, in the /var directory, yp is the subdirectory that is the oldest one in the /var directory. Alright, people, then what if I want to go for the reverse time order sort? Just include the lowercase r option, ls-l or th /var. This command is very much like the previous command, people. However, one difference is I just have added the r option also to go for the reverse time order sort. Alright, let me run the command, people. Now what will happen is the file or directory, which is the oldest directory in the /var directory, it will appear in the first line of output, and the most recently updated file or directory will appear in the last line of output. Let's check, people. I'll run this command. Yeah, we can notice that the sort order is like what I told you, people. Okay. And now there are some more actions that I can demonstrate, people, with some of these useful options that I have told you about the ls command. These useful options of the ls command that I have told you. Let me tell you some more examples, people, here. ls-l arth/var. Now what I am telling the ls command is I want to get the listing for the /var directory in a long listing format, including the hidden files that need to be reported, reverse time order sort, and H option for file size to be reported in human friendly format. And I'll send the output of this command as the input to the more command, people. Done. Now let me run this command, and we can see the result, people, here. The hidden files and directories also will be seen this time. So this is the first page in the output. Let me now go ahead, press the enter key. I'll get the next page. We can see the hidden files and directories, people. That also can be seen because I have used the lowercase a option of the ls command that I have executed just now. And now same command I am going to run again, people. ls-l for long listing, l option I am using, a option for reporting the hidden files also, rt to go for the reverse time order sort, h option to see the file size in human friendly format, capital R option for recursive listing, okay, for /var directory. So essentially I want to go for the recursive listing, meaning that I want to report for the entire directory hierarchy that is starting from the /var directory. Now let me send the output of this command as input to the more command, people, because there is going to be many pages in the output here, okay, because of the use of the capital R option. There is going to be a lot of pages in the output because I am going for a recursive listing for the directory /var. Now let's go ahead. I'll run the command, people. You can notice that there are going to be so many pages in the output. I press the space bar, so many pages are appearing in the output because it is the entire directory hierarchy for the /var directory that I am seeing in the output, people. Alright, when I am done looking at the output, I can just press Q to quit. I am doing that now, people, and I have terminated the command and I have returned to the operating system command prompt. Now let me go ahead and use the exit command to terminate this switch user session to root user, people, and I'll return to the regular user frame users session. Done. Alright, people, with that I will conclude this presentation. Please subscribe to this channel and also share this channel if you find that this channel is useful to you in learning about Linux related topics. Thank you.